Really good today. And you?
Very well, thank you. That's good to hear that you're well.
What class is it, this one, Michael? And what's the lesson number?
This is Mary's debate class, and it is lesson 4.
Okay, thank you. Mary, lesson 4.
Yep. Okay.
Yesterday, I go to a place that called Flamingo, and that was really beautiful.
Okay, so we're on our 4th lesson today. Hello, everybody. And today, we're just going to revise everything that we've been covering in the first 3 lessons, because I know that you have been learning a lot recently. I've been checking through some of your homework and we're off to a good start. Has anybody finished their brainstorms? The homework from the last Tuesday? No worries. Okay, so just make sure that you do get onto that, because it is a valuable skill that will help you a lot in the future. So let's start by going over some of the stuff we covered in our first lesson. So I'm just going to put up the slideshow here. And I just want to run through everything again. And if you've got any questions, please make sure that you ask, because the stuff we've covered so far is going to make all of our lessons in the future like 100 times easier. Okay, so back from lesson 1, the first thing we covered was what was debate. And we learned that debate is a formal and structured discussion on a specific topic where participants on opposing teams present arguments and counter arguments. So from this, we obviously learned about the proposition, the opposition. We learned about the motion. We learned about the role of the interlocutor as well and how important they can be. So, can I please have So we've got the 4 key terms on the next page here. So first of all, can I ask Tina, please?
Yes,
Tina, can you tell me what the motion of a debate is?
the motion is what the debaters on each team are supposed to argue about.
Very good. Thank you, Tina. And next, I'll ask Sonic. Can you tell me about the interlocutor, please?
Interlocutor is debate. I don't know.
Okay, so the interlocutor, we'll just take it to the next slide here. So the interlocutor there we go. The interlocutor is the person that makes sure that all of the rules are followed and that the judges decide the winners in a fair manner. So they're kind of like the policemen of the debate. They make sure that everybody follows the rules and that everything is fair. Okay, so Sally from Hanoi, please.
Yes.
Can you tell me what the proposition team is, please?
The proposition team is someone didn't argue about our arguments.
Good, but what side of the debate is the proposition on?
The propositions are in our team and same with our arguments.
Very good. So the proposition team agrees with the topic of the debate. Very good. And I'll ask Bill, please, from Hanoi.
Yes.
Bill, what is the opposition team?
The opposition is the opposite of proposition, and the opposition is disagree.
Very good. They disagree with the motion of the debate. Well done, guys. Do you have a question, Bill, or anything you'd like to say? Because I saw your hand is raised.
No.
No worries. Okay, so very good, everyone. So we see the motion is the proposition's position. So the proposition will always agree with the topic of the debate, and the motion is the statement that they give. So that lets everybody know what they agree with. So next, very good, guys, we've got the proposition and the opposition. And the proposition, again, the proposition agrees with the motion, and the opposition, they argue against it. They try to prove that the motion is wrong. And finally, we've got the interlocutor, and that's the person that makes sure that all the rules are followed and that the judges decide a winner fairly. So good work, guys. Key roles. Okay, so next up, we learned how a debate generally goes. So we have 4 main parts of a debater's argument. We have the introduction, and that is where we make our first opening statements and we make sure that everybody understands what they're arguing about. Then we've got the team arguments, and that's where each team take their turns at presenting their arguments and giving the evidence to prove their arguments are correct. After that, we have rebuttals. Now that is like counter arguing. So if I was to say, I don't know, if I was to say something like, I think beef is the most delicious kind of meat, and then someone else was to say, well, no, I think chicken is the most delicious kind of meat. They would then present their reasons for why they think chicken is the best kind of meat. And that is, and the evidence that they have to go along with that. And that would be a rebuttal. So trying to prove the other team wrong, basically. And lastly, we have the conclusion. And this is where we really want to remind the audience and the judges what we've been talking about, because you get about anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes to speak normally in a debate. And you can say a lot in 3 to 5 minutes. So at the end, we just want to take that chance to remind everybody the main arguments we've made so that we can help them remember our arguments better. Next, we learnt what debate topics were, but we're going to have a look at that a bit later in the lesson, so we can skip that for now. We also talked about some of the skills that you can learn through learning to debate. And the first one was critical thinking. Now that's going to be a very valuable skill for you because it's going to help you to not just believe everything you're told. If you can think critically, you're going to have a think about the information you've been given. You might do some research to see if it's really true. And it really just helps you to kind of sift through the information that you're given and work out what is good and what is bad. The critical thinking, did you mean, Mary?
Yes.
Ah, well, so the reason that it is a valuable skill is because if you can think critically, then you're going to be able to not just believe everything you're told, you're going to be able to think for yourself. You're going to be able to tell the difference between good information and bad information, like whether it's true, whether it's false, whether it's, you know, whether it's intended to help you, whether it's intended to do anything else pretty much. So yeah, by being able to think critically, you're going to be able to really be able to tell the difference between good information and bad information. And in today's times, that's a very valuable skill to have. Next, you're also going to learn research skills. So you're going to be able to learn how to collect evidence and learn how to use that evidence to support your arguments. Because anybody, oh, excuse me, I've got the hiccups. So anybody can just say their opinion on something, but most of the time that's not very convincing. So if I was just to say, I use this example in one of my persuasive writing classes. It's school should start later because I want to sleep more. So that's a really bad argument because it's selfish. It doesn't show how it helps anybody. But if you can do your research, you can find the evidence to be able to make your arguments much more convincing, and you can start talking about, for example, the recommended amount of time that children should sleep to be as healthy as possible, and that it's going to improve their concentration in class and things like that. So by being able to do research, you gain the ability to make your arguments a lot stronger and a lot more convincing. And finally, you also learn communication skills. So you'll learn to express your ideas clearly. So you'll be able to think of something in your head and you'll be able to explain it to anybody so they understand. You'll also learn to listen to other people, because a lot of the time when people listen to each other, they're not really paying attention. They're just kind of thinking about what they want to say back to the person who's speaking. But if you learn to listen properly and really listen to what people are saying, you'll find that your communication will improve a lot because you can react to the person rather than trying to just say what you need to say. And finally, you'll learn how to persuade people. So persuasion is a great little skill. It's easy in theory. So if I was to describe persuasion to you, it would be convincing people to believe an idea or to take action in some way by giving them the good reasons for doing that. And so you hear that and you think, oh, okay, well, I can think of some good reasons for someone to do something, but actually convincing a person to believe an idea or to do something is an incredibly difficult skill. And if you can do it, then yeah, it's a very, very valuable skill to have. If you can do it, you can accomplish almost anything in this world. So building on from that, the benefits of learning to debate. So what you can get out of this course, if you learn the lessons and pay attention to everything, you're going to find that through your debating, you're going to get a lot of, you're going to grow a lot of confidence. You'll be able to express yourself a lot better, and you'll be able to think on your feet. So if something suddenly changes, you're not going to sit there and freak out and go, oh no, I had this plan, it's not working. You're going to be able to go, right, this has changed, I need to do this, this, and this, and you get back on track. So very valuable skills as well. You're going to be able to understand the other person's point of view if you ever disagree with somebody. So you're not just gonna, how do you say it? So yeah, you're not just gonna stick to your own viewpoint and go, no, I'm right, you can't convince me of anything else. No, I'm right. You're going to be able to at least listen to their point of view, because maybe someone might say something and that changes how you think about something or feel about something. So the ability to do that, it's far too uncommon in this world. So it's a really valuable skill to be able to have. And finally, like we just talked about, your critical thinking, your public speaking, and your research abilities are going to go through the roof. And that's going to help you in all sorts of things, like from assignments at school to even when you grow up and get a job or start your own business or do whatever you're going to do. The ability to research is very important. Okay. So do we have any questions about some of those points we've just gone over? Very good. So next up, we learned about themes and topics in debating. So what is a theme or a topic of a debate? Can anyone tell me that? Okay, so the theme, oops, Sally, can you tell me what the theme or the topic of the debate is, please?
It is emotion.
Very good. So the motion, the theme, and the topic are all, they're very, very similar, but they're not quite the same thing, but they're all very closely related to each other. So I think this was the lesson where we did the brainstorms. So things to consider when we're coming up with a debate theme. So first of all, we want to make sure that everybody, so the audience, the judges, everybody can relate to the theme, because it's going to help them understand why we're debating it in the first place. So we want to make sure that when we're debating, we always pick topics that are very accessible to people. So you don't have to have a whole bunch of like specific knowledge going into it. You can just go into the debate, listen to a good conversation, and learn a lot. The next thing we want to do is make the theme interesting. So that will ensure that the audience is going to want to listen to what we have to say. And finally, we need to make sure the theme is appropriate. So I'd say certain topics of debate would not be good for children of your age to debate, because perhaps you might not be old enough to understand the issue just yet. And then, of course, there are other topics like religion and politics. They're very, very, very sensitive topics. So when those are debated, the people need to make sure that they are not necessarily overly sensitive, but you really need to make sure that you approach certain topics with care so that we don't upset anybody too badly. So those are all important things to consider when we choose a theme to debate about. We had some examples of themes here. So we could debate about our community, animals, friendship, many other topics as well. And from our themes, we develop topics. So theme is the overall subject. And from our overall subject, we develop a topic. So yeah, this was the lesson that we did the brainstorming activities in. So same thing here for the characteristics of a good debate topic. We want it to be interesting, engaging, want to capture our audience's attention. We need to make sure that the topic is balanced. So we need to debate things. We need to make sure that we, so we need to make sure that we are able to argue two sides of a topic, because some things are just not debatable. This is the truth, no denying it. So for example, you know, we wouldn't be able to have a debate about a topic like, do human beings need oxygen to live? So like, because yes, we do. So a good debate topic needs to be able to have more than one point of view. And again, the topic should be age appropriate. So we need to make sure that we're not talking about things we're too young to understand or too old to understand, basically. Okay. So from our themes, we see here that we then develop our more specific topic. So we've got from the theme community, which was, let's have a look. So discussing ways to make our neighborhood a better place. So we've got the theme community. So the topics could be questions like, should we have more parks in our neighborhood? Or is it important to recycle and protect the environment? So we see here that these topics are just more specific questions about the theme of community. Okay. So then from there, we also did go on to have a go at having a look at some themes and some topics. Before we went on with lesson number 3. So before we go on with our next topic or our next bit of revision, does anybody have any questions? Anything you'd like me to go over?
No.
Very good. Okay. So, terrific. That's really good. Okay, so after talking about the what do you call it? After talking about the basics of the interlocutor, motion, proposition, and opposition in our first bit of revision, I'm just going to go into a little bit more detail. So it's really important to understand these key terms that are used in a debate, because if you know what they are, what they mean, and in the interlocutor's case, who they are and what they do, then really we're able to do anything in a debate because we know that if we're not sure of a rule, we can ask the interlocutor. We know once we understand the motion of the debate that we are able to work out which types of arguments we should make based on what teams we're on. And one thing I just want to add in for the interlocutor is another word that you might hear the interlocutor be called. So you might also hear the interlocutor be called the moderator. So if you hear interlocutor or if you hear moderator, you know they're talking about the same person. Okay, so we know that the interlocutor is the moderator or the facilitator of the debate. So again, they ensure fairness, they manage the debate, making sure that it runs smoothly, and they maintain order, making sure everyone follows the rules. So they will introduce the topic of the debate for the debaters to begin discussing. It's their job to do the timekeeping, so they'll make sure that everybody sticks to their allowed time limits to speak. And they also run the question and answer session that happens during most debates. So at some point during the debate, the audience or the judges, and sometimes even the debaters will get a chance to ask each other questions. So the audience and the judges will ask the debaters, I'll just pick someone, ask them a question. It might be to try and get them to clarify their point a bit better. It might be because they didn't understand something and they want one of the debaters to make it make sense for them, basically. And in some debates, the debaters can ask each other questions. So people from the proposition can ask the opposition questions and the other way around. And the reason that they allow this sometimes is to test how well the debaters really know their arguments. Because if I can ask you a question and you can't answer it properly, or if you ask me a question and I can't answer it properly, then that doesn't look very good to the judges, that we don't know our topics well enough and we're just kind of reading off of our note cards and haven't put in the research and haven't put in the effort, basically. So we always need to make sure that we know our topic. The motion. So the motion is the topic or the proposition being debated. So the motion is a statement that is made by the proposition team, and that motion lets everybody know what they agree with. So we looked at some examples in that class that in this class, which I think was last lesson. And it's always worded in a certain way. It's usually something like, this house believes that children should be allowed to own smartphones, or this house believes that all children should learn how to swim. So yeah, the motion statement just lets everybody know what the proposition is arguing. Okay, so the proposition, we know, is the team that supports the motion, and it's their job to present arguments in favor of it. So they're obviously arguing to prove that their motion is correct. The opposition is the team that opposes the motion. So they're going to present arguments to try and prove that the motion is wrong. Okay, so next we have the interlocutor's role in mediating the debate. So we mentioned this before. They make sure that each team has the same amount of time to speak, because you can do a lot, you can say a lot in a few extra seconds. So the interlocutor really needs to make sure that he's on top of the time limits. They manage the flow of the debate, so they'll invite each speaker up to deliver their arguments. They'll introduce the question and answer session, and they just make sure that the debate runs smoothly and that it doesn't take longer than it needs to. And finally, and this can be a big one, the interlocutor has to resolve any conflicts, because sometimes when we don't mean to, certain topics of debate can bring about a lot of emotions in people, and suddenly they stop arguing about the debate and they start actually getting angry at each other. So if that does happen, then the interlocutor is there to calm everybody back down, get the debate back on topic, and keep things running smoothly. So the importance of understanding these roles that we talked about a few minutes ago was that if you understand these roles, then you're able to participate in the debate a lot more, because you won't be scared if you don't know the rules. You know, you can just ask the interlocutor. If you don't understand something, again, you can ask the interlocutor. If you know the motion or the topic of the debate and what team you're on, you are able to figure out what kinds of arguments you need to be making. So yeah, these four topics really were, these four topics really are the most important parts of understanding how a debate works. My apologies, guys. I don't know what happened there. So, do we have any questions about anything that we've discussed today?
No.
Terrific. Okay, so give me a minute. I will be right back. Okay, guys, so I've just got a couple of activities for us to do to reinforce some of the things that we've been talking about today. So the first thing that I want us to do is we're going to play a little game called proposition or opposition. So what's going to happen is I'm going to give you guys one at a time a list of debate topics or debate statements or motions. And I want you guys to tell me if you agree or disagree. So are you the proposition or the opposition in the debate? And I also want you guys then to take a minute or two just to write a short argument about the topic that I've presented. So let me get my list of topics here. Okay, so when I read out a topic, I'm going to get you guys to, let's have a look here. If you agree with the topic and you are the proposition, then I want you to do the green tick like this. Or if you disagree with the topic and you are the opposition team, I want you to do the red cross like that. I'm going to give you one topic at a time, so don't worry, it won't be too crazy. Okay, so my first topic for you guys is, should all students be required to take a class on public speaking?
What does that mean?
So public speaking is learning to talk to large groups of people. So it'll teach you how to deliver speeches. It'll teach you how to communicate with people better. And yeah, it's mostly used as a tool for building confidence in people. Okay, so topic 1, should students have to take a class on public speaking? If you think they should, go the green tick. If you think they shouldn't have to, then put the red cross on your screen. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes now to have a think about your arguments. Why do you think students should have to take a class on public speaking, or why you think they shouldn't have to? And if you haven't put your team, if you haven't put your side of the argument up, either the tick or the cross, I'm going to assign you a team. So make sure you are displaying what side of the argument you're on. So I'll give you guys 2 minutes. I'll give you guys 2 minutes to come up with an argument. So I'll see you all in 2 minutes. Always forget to unmute. So I'll listen to your arguments now, and I'll start with Mary, please.
The reason I think students should take classes on public speaking is because they need to communicate more easily, and when there are speeches, students can be more confident when they are talking in front of the crowd. They can feel more comfortable when they do a presentation or something else in front of the crowd. Um, they can use their learning to do in front of when they do a debate. They need to use words and strong sentences.
Very well done, Mary. Very well done. And next, can I have Min, please? You also agree, so can I hear your argument now?
The argument of this topic have many types, but the most of mine is the leadership development. Public speaking is often scored with leadership because, like debate, we have to make a leadership to leader our team. By learning how to speak confident and persuade, some students like us can develop their leadership ability and become the leadership in the future, maybe.
Very well done, Min. That was a very interesting argument that you put forth. I like that you were thinking about benefits of public speaking for in the future as well, talking about becoming leaders. So very well done. Very well done. Okay, so I'll pick one more. Can I please hear from Tina?
So I think that they should do public speaking classes because, like Mary said, it helps build confidence in speaking terms in front of the public, and they would like overcome their fear when they would do some other public speaking activities. So they wouldn't like speeches, they would be like they wouldn't shake in front of the whole audience.
Very well done. So I like how you called back to what Mary said. Because your argument was quite similar, it was a good technique to call back to when Mary said this. So that adds strength and credibility to your argument because you are working together with your teammate in this instance. So very well done, Tina. That's a very good tactic. Well done. Okay, our next topic, we'll probably have time for one or two more. Okay. I'm going to type it in and I'll read it out.
Why did you need to type it in the chat, teacher?
Just so that everyone, if they forget or they need to see it again, they can check the chat box. Okay, so topic number 2. Is winning the most important factor when it comes to playing sports? So if you think that winning is the most important thing, then you need the green tick. If you think there are other parts of sport, the other parts of playing sport that are more important than winning, do the red cross. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys another 2 minutes to come up with your arguments and really convince me of your arguments. I'll see you guys in 2 minutes. Okay, guys, so make sure that you are displaying which team you're on by using the red cross or the green tick. Okay, so I'm going to ask a few more of you to deliver your arguments, please. And the first person will be Mia.
Isn't very important to win. I think to have fun or challenging ourselves is the most important.
Very good. So you think that having fun with your friends and challenging yourself to do better and better is the most important thing about doing sports. Very good. Well done, Mia. And next, can I please hear from Brian?
So I'm from the opposition. No, because it us feel more selfish because we just want to feel win. And number two is the friendship of the other team becomes very bad because sometimes we become very angry because we are losing. And number three is because more pressure because want to win. Because if they lose, they become they can't control their mind and they become angry with the other team like that. So that's all.
Very good. So we want to focus on fun and friendship more so than competition and winning. Very good, Brian. Thank you. And Sally from Hanoi.
My opinion is no, because we don't need to win. The most important thing is taking out of lessons.
So it's not whether we win or lose, it's what we learn during the process. Is that right, Sally?
Yes.
Very good. So there were some really terrific arguments presented there. Making sure that we have fun rather than get too serious and compete, and making friends with everybody. That's good. And about learning the lessons rather than winning or losing. So good work, guys. It's really good to hear what your opinions on these topics are. Okay, we've got time for one final topic today. And I will type that in the box here. Okay. So our final topic for today will be, is it better to learn something from a book or from experience by doing it? So if you think it is better to learn from a book, I want you to pick the green tick. If you think it's better to learn something through experience by doing it, then I want you to do the red cross. So book learning versus real life experience. So book learning is the green tick, real life experience is the red cross. So I'll give you guys 2 minutes to think of your arguments, and then we'll come back and we'll present a couple to finish off the class. And a little tip that I'll give you guys is that when you are debating, you will not always be on the team of what you really believe in yourself. So sometimes you will be part of a debate and you'll have to argue a topic, or you have to argue for a topic that in real life you are totally, like, you might totally disagree with. So the point of this is to consider all different points of view. So if you can't work out which side of the argument that you want to be on, pick the one that you would find most challenging to defend, and then really think about how you would defend that side of the argument. All right, I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Okay, so let's hear a few arguments. So I'll ask Bill first, please.
I think learn something in the book and from an experiment is both good, because when we learn from a book we can read from that we knows, and but when we know it we have to do experiment to remember it. When we do not do the experiment we will like, oh, I don't remember, then we have to read a book again.
Very
They are
good.
together.
So you think they both work well together? Learn it from a book and then put that to an experiment to get the experience.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you, Bill. And Miss Mary, what's your opinion?
My opinion is use experience, because when we use a book we get used to it, and and our lives is not depend by using a book. It uses by experience and it uses by our heart. If we lose, we can try it again because it's on our way.
Very good. Very good. So experience is better because you can keep trying until you get it. Well done. Okay, Sally from Hanoi, what's your opinion on this topic?
My opinion is from experiments because reading a book didn't show the opinion is right, but the experiments can show it is right.
Okay, so you prefer experience because a book can tell you something is right, but by doing it, you really learn how to do something right. Very good point of view there. Well done. And Sonic. Sonic, what's your point of view? Books or experience?
I think read book has a new idea, and we would do experiment right more.
Okay, so you think reading books first to get the idea and then experience to really learn about the idea. Okay, thank you. And Brian, please. We'll hear two more, Brian and Mayan, and then we'll finish for the day.
So I think the experience is better because we learn it with the experience, so we can see how it looks and how it works. Because books just like read it. Sometimes we can learn it by yourself, like with the experience, because you can know much more how it works and more things. And sometimes if we forgot something, we can ask the people or some of the teacher that they used to teach it like that. So sometimes books can be good too, like it can give us vocabulary or how it is right, but I think experience is better.
Very good, Brian. Very, very good. I liked how you described that learning something out of a book, it's not always the same when you do it in real life. So the experience is better because you learn more. So I really like that argument. Well done, Brian.
Teacher,
And finally, yes.
it's 10 o'clock and 3 minutes already.
Okay, then. Well, in that case, I'll let you guys go. Really good revision session today, guys. On Thursday, we're going to start learning about the teal paragraph structure. So how to write our arguments. But actually, before we finish, Mayan, I'd like to hear your opinion too, because I did ask for it before. So,
in my opinion, I will think I learn from experience is better than learn something from book, because if we learn from book, it's like not work or stay in your head in forever. So I think we have to learn like in your experience.
very good. So you think we should learn from experience and only use books to help. Okay, very good, guys.
Teacher, the first I say that both book and experiment are good, but now I think again that experiment is a bit much better, because like when we read from a book, we think like, I know this, but when we do not have that book, what is it? I don't know that. And when we do experiment, it's like we know how to do it. We know which where we are, like that.
You know what? I absolutely agree with you, Bill. I cannot tell you how many times I have read something in a book and thought to myself, yep, I know this, so I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna try this, only for it to go horribly wrong because I didn't have any experience in it yet. So I've always found, for me personally, that books are a great way to get an idea on a topic. And then, yeah, you just need to go out and do it and keep doing it, even though you're going to mess up, and just keep doing it until you can do it really well. So
Sure.
I agree with you, Bill. And Mary, you look like you're going to explode. What's going on?
It's 10 o'clock and 7 minutes. When are we going to get out of the zoo? Are we going
Okay,
to
so
do 1 more hour?
okay, so because Mary said that, we're going to do 1 more hour.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, so on I just had to see the look on Mary's face when I said that. So on Thursday, like I said, we're going to start learning about how to write teal paragraphs. I think that was in one of our vocabulary lists from the first lesson. It's a really good way to structure your arguments, and this will help you to express your ideas better as well. So thank you for a great revision session today. Because it was revision, there's no homework, but I'll have plenty of homework for you on Thursday. Fantastic. So enjoy these 2 days of no homework, and then
Teacher,
yes.
I'm not going to see you on Thursday because I'm going to see you on Wednesday.
That's right, because you have your persuasive writing class with me as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Very good. By the way, one last thing, then I'll let you guys go, I promise. So I noticed that most of you thought that a class on public speaking would be a good idea. If you get in contact with Miss Duck, I'm actually starting a public speaking class on Zoom on Sunday nights in August. So if you'd like to learn about public speaking, yeah, get in contact with Ms. Duck and she'll be able to tell you, give you the details for the class, like the Zoom room and all that sort of stuff. So I'll see you guys on Thursday. Other than Mary, I'll see you tomorrow. Well done, guys.
Bye, teacher.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And oh my
teacher.
gosh, goodbye, Mary. Oh my
Bye.
gosh, I have to say this. Bye. Mary,
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mary. It's 10 o'clock and 8 minutes. Oh my goodness.
Have you finished this class or
Yeah,
is
this
it
class
new
is
one,
done.
Michael? Huh?
No, I've got my next class at 11
In
o'clock.
another hour. Yeah,
Correct, yeah.
11 o'clock. Okay, right. Then I leave now. Bye.
Thank you,
Call
Miss
me
Duck.
in the next one. Yeah.
Yep, will do. Thank you, Miss Duck.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I end. Okay.